Aloha, sweet soul family. I recently had a mind-blowing experience in the dream state, and I feel really called to share it with you so that it can support and assist your journey in really understanding the difference between expansion and contraction and how the ego mind aspect can really kind of mess with your reality, but keep you stuck in like a loop pattern. And so I was shown this very clearly in my dream space and experienced the vast polar opposites of the contraction and the ego distortion program and the expansion. And so just sharing with you guys all here is the program of people pleasing is definitely one that I have worked through a lot. And it's one that's so prevalent with humanity as well. And so this distortion that I was playing out and seeing to expand was about people pleasing. And essentially I was back in university, which we go to school to learn how to become masters here. And so I was back at university and I was very aware that I've been here and I've been here to school. And I was coming back to support and assist those who haven't been here, been to quote unquote school, but been here to earth yet. And I was aware that I was the only one that had a car, and a car is a vehicle, and our bodies, our light bodies, we have a light body ascension vehicle. So it's kind of funny how in the dream space, different symbols represent and mean different things as well. So I was very aware that I was the one that had a car and there were people that needed things. And so I offered to support someone and go to the store and get someone something, food or a drink or something. And then all of a sudden, it was like everyone needed or wanted something and needed and wanted me to go get it for them. And so the distortion, the loop that kept playing was I cared more about what that person needed. So I had my lists, I had the name of the person, what they wanted, what they needed. And I was actually sort of like chasing people to clarify what they wanted, specifically like what brand or whatever it was. But in the distortion, in the loop, I saw really, really clearly that I wanted to clarify and I cared more about what I was getting for them than they did, because they were pretty much running away from me. They wanted it, they said they did, but energetically, it was like they were running away from me. I was chasing them. And that was the distortion, the loop, that I cared too much. I cared more than they did. And in that moment, in that realization of that distortion and that loop, that ego program that runs you round and round and round like a hamster wheel, everything just expanded out into nothing and everything. And none of that mattered. None of that even existed. And it was a really beautiful reminder for myself, as well as for all of you listening as well, is when we get caught in a program, sometimes we're not aware, but it can feel like a lot of effort. It can feel like we're trying too much, too hard, potentially. And if we can recognize that there's some kind of distortion playing out, we can kind of take a step back, let go of trying to push or make things happen, and letting go and allowing and coming back to pure peace and a deep connection inside, where everything merges into one. And there's no need and there's no distortion and there's nothing out of balance, right? Everything's in balance and harmony within ourselves. And in that dream, that loop pattern, everything was out of balance, right? So I felt called to share that with you guys today as well. And what's cool is a little bit later, I also saw sort of another experience, just to kind of put it a little bit more into physical like application to our lives as well, is there's a new project that I'm working on, and it requires a lot of linear brain capabilities to process and understand what I'm doing and all the puzzles and the pieces and the parts. And I got to a point where one morning, I think I spent like 4 or 5 hours just diving deep into it all. And it was all information that my body had to process. And it became too much. And I couldn't see the bigger picture. I got lost in the details and lost in the mundane things that I felt that I needed to do in that moment. And I recognized that, and I stopped everything. And it was like, stop everything, move your body, go out on Gaia, drink some water, connect, go inside, and let it all go. Because I felt like I had lost the bigger vision, the why, in how it impacts and influences sort of realities moving forward. And so I let it go, and I purposely sought to let it go for 2 days. And I did a lot of physical movement in that period, physical movement around the house and things and outside. And then I went to bed, and I asked to clear it all. I asked to clear it all. I asked to see it all. And I asked to clear everything that's in my way of seeing how to move forward, in seeing the clarity that I needed in order to move forward in one way or another. And the beautiful thing is I woke up the next morning with seeing the end result of why we're all here on Earth, right? Seeing us all living as one new Earth consciousness, living in eco villages, happy and free, sovereign beings. It was just this really beautiful, the word was utopia, and we're all living in this utopia. And then from sort of that end vision, I then saw a rainbow bridge to what our vision is, what we're working towards and what we're creating. And then I saw current reality, and it's like there's another rainbow bridge to bridge the gap between where we are now and where we need to get to in order to open up opportunities so that we can all live heaven on earth together. And in that moment, I saw the clarity on what this new project is going to unlock and empower us to be able to do. But just giving you kind of like a little bit of a application that's relevant to, possibly something that you're working on. If you're working on like a new project or an idea or a new creation, or you're coming together with other people, sometimes we can get so caught up in the details that we lose sight of the bigger picture and the vision and our why, and why we're actually doing it, and how it supports humanity. And so I just wanted to hop on with you guys and share, in case it will support you in what you're going through, or what you're about to go through as well. Sometimes it helps to hear different perspectives, so that we can see our own patterns, and we can then apply that to our own life in different ways, to support us and empower us in moving forward. So I love you. Thank you for listening, and go shine your light, and make sure that you expand, see, connect inside while you're working on projects, while you're moving forward on things. There's a balance between seeing, expanding to see and feel the vastness of our visions and of our whys, and then the action of doing. And I find myself playing with the balance and coming back and forth between the seeing everything, the vastness of the vision, and then taking action and steps and doing, and then coming back to that vision, that clarity, that deep sense of purpose inside, and taking action. And it's really carrying through our visions, our purposes, our whys in everything that we do. And so it's art. It takes practice, but play with it, have fun. And I hope this helps. Love you.